All right. So good morning, everybody, and happy spring, right? Because we haven't seen each other since the beginning of spring, and so good to see you all. And Miss Falls, welcome. It's
Thank
Miss
you.
Falls. It's not doctor, is it?
No, no,
Okay,
it's
no problem.
not.
No problem. I can call you doctor. So, but welcome to the library,
Thank you.
and welcome to the Education Outreach and Research Services Committee. We have appears to be a short agenda, but library folks, we like to talk, so it might. We have an hour and everything, so we're going to jump right into this. So the first thing up on the agenda is from Ms. Falls.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to say hello to everybody. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to be working with this committee in particular, happy to be in my position as director of what we call PSO here in the library. I've been here a whole 3.5 weeks. So I'm feeling my way a bit. People keep saying, how's it going? And I'm like, well, I'm drinking from a fire hose a lot of the time, but it's a really wonderful experience. I learn something new every day, and I'm really happy to be here in a community of learners. So it's a really exciting place to be. I come from academic libraries, so I have an academic career of about 20 years. Particularly in the arts, but I've done a lot with exhibition practice and also with really centering libraries, academic libraries as community support. My last institution as well, I did significant work with EDIB on our campus. That was a major focus. And work within the UNC system on open educational resources, affordability and accessibility, particularly to textbooks. And we initiated a really cool program at UNCSA of textbook affordability in our liberal arts core for our students. So they would have zero debt going toward textbooks there. So those are some of my achievements there. So I hope to bring some of that kind of work over here to Library of Virginia, and I'm really happy to be here on the eve of the third century, right? The morning of the third century.
There you go. Great.
So happy to meet all of you. Please let me know if there's anything you need at all. My email is very easy. You have it in your email, but it's just sarah.falls. So feel free.
Welcome again. And just know, if you haven't found out already, that you have support with your team members at the library as well as the board of directors. So welcome again.
Thank you.
All right. Agenda item number 2, Ms. Fitzgerald Wyatt.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to talk a little bit just about our year recap of programming, which we have done at the April meeting now for the past few years. You should have gotten an attachment that you could use for reference, but just the highlights, I'll kind of go through in order of your document. Education highlights from the past year. Our big focus is working with teachers, particularly during the summer. We went to 4 teachers institutes this past summer, all the way down to Wise County, as well as 3 other venues. And we welcomed in teacher research fellows to the library who spent 2 weeks digging in the archives and really getting their hands into the primary sources. And then they produced content, which has been going up on Document Bank of Virginia. They also shared their experiences with fellow teachers at their regional institute. So this summer, just to give you a little preview, we will be back to regions 1, 4, 6, and 8, and those are the superintendent's regions. The focus of this year's institute will be on Indigenous history, obviously complementing the work that we've done on the exhibition, and as well as a lot of the digital content that has gone up. So outreach, hopefully many of you saw us in the big purple van last year. We took it all around the Commonwealth. We hit 15 venues, and On the Go was a tremendous success. Thanks in large part to Angela and her team, who did a fantastic job marketing the program. The response we got from patrons was just really, really positive. I'll tease a little bit that we are booking into 2025. In addition to On the Go, we also did a lot of other outreach programs, presentations, both virtual and in person, around the state. The exhibition last year was focused on 200 plus stories that sort of complement and hopefully give you a sneak peek into kind of the 135 million plus items you can find in the collections at the library. And that was on display for much of 2023. We also had a interactive that we built where people could navigate those 200 stories and then dig a little deeper into our resources. So that's now mounted up on our website. So if you saw someone in the exhibition and you want to learn a little bit more, you can do that still. Traveling exhibitions, 200 years, 200 stories, and I think 5 other exhibitions traveled throughout the Commonwealth last year. We are still traveling a few exhibitions from before COVID that people just continue to want to see. Teetotalers and Moonshiners, which was on Prohibition in Virginia. We had a photographic exhibit on African-American World War I soldiers that actually went to Michigan or Minnesota last year and is still traveling. So pretty exciting. Staff, of course, gave tours of the exhibition and of the library last year on demand. And we're happy to kind of continue to do that with this exhibition. And then from a programmatic standpoint, our 3 big focal areas are civic engagement, family and community history, and literature and literacy. And I think all told, we had over 97 programs, many of which were here at the library. And if you combine both our outreach efforts and our in-person efforts, we served over 9,000 Virginians. So really exciting work. And, we're already well on our way for 2024. Happy to take any questions.
You are definitely making an impact in the Commonwealth. So congratulations on that. Any questions from Ms. Fitzgerald Wyatt?
Not a question about that. I just saw a note from Dr. Murphy that she may need the link to the meeting. She says she's clicked the link, but it says waiting for the host. I don't think she's in this particular meeting link. If someone could email her.
I just did. I think she must have clicked on the old link, but I just emailed her and Peter Broadbent. Both of them have the new link now.
Peter's in, so yeah.
Right.
You're muted, Peter.
Peter, it's good to see your cameras working today. We had the radio show yesterday for the Archives Committee.
You're muted, Peter. Somebody's muted, Peter. You're still talking.
I don't think he.
Peter, can you hear us? You're muted.
I'm not sure he can hear us.
Yeah, I think he.
Oh.
All right.
There you go.
There you
All
go.
Now we can hear
got
you.
it.
Very good.
We
No,
missed
no,
what
my apologies. I got a new computer last week, and for whatever reason, the camera functions are somewhat different on my old computer. And I'm still trying to adapt to that.
No problem.
But anyway, and I had the same problem as Shelley, but I used the password with the original notice. So maybe if she puts in the password that just came out today, that will work.
Oh, it's good seeing both of you. So, all right. Ms. Fitzgerald Wyatt, so with items 3 and 4, did you cover those pretty much, or did you do all 3, or you just
No, I can do a little bit more if you'd like.
Sure. So
I've always got more to say, you know that. Yeah, so let me give you an update on where we are with Indigenous perspectives. And if I have a few minutes, which hopefully I do, I just want to share that I was in Salt Lake City, Utah last week at the National Council for Public History Conference. We have attended, presented, and tabled for the past several years. For the work that we do in education and outreach, I really think this is just a fantastic audience to share our resources and our programs. And Barbara Batson and I took, I think, 100 Indigenous Perspectives booklets, and they all went, and we probably should have taken more. I think I'm going to be mailing some to folks, but it was really interesting because several of the sessions talked about, Indigenous histories, challenges, opportunities with tribes in the western part of the United States as well as Canada. And so they were very interested in the work that we've been doing in Virginia. And although a lot of the times the particulars were very different, there were a lot of commonalities in terms of, particularly like, for example, the Shoshone in northern Utah and southern Idaho are in the process of buying land and building an educational and interpretive center, which is a story that we've heard from several of the tribes in Virginia. Working on language, on the recovery of language is something that's really important to many of the tribes we heard from out west, which again is something that several of the Virginia tribes are actively engaged in and working on. So it was a really rewarding opportunity to kind of share our work, but to also learn. So I just wanted to share that. There were several people who came up to talk to us who, know the Library of Virginia. So again, the marketing that Angela and her team have been doing is really, really getting out there. It's extending beyond the borders, and it's fantastic work. Like, I will say several years ago when we first were going, people thought we were part of University of Virginia Library. And now we don't get that question anymore. So it's really fantastic. So just wanted to share that. It was a great opportunity to really increase our audience reach. So Indigenous Perspectives here at the library. We've already had over 3,000 people come through and see the exhibition. Lois Costello and two researchers from her team with the Mattaponi were here yesterday to talk to Ashley, Ramey, Craig, and I, and to tour the exhibit. And they're doing research. And so it's just been fantastic. We've had a variety of groups come in, both tribal member groups as well as other interested patrons. And so it's been great. I'm really excited to announce that our exhibition webpage now has the oral history interviews online. So if you can't get to the library to see them, they're now available. The full interviews that we did are still being we're checking the transcription. And as soon as that is done, those will go up on our YouTube channel. We also have two interactives in the exhibit. There's a John Smith map interactive where tribal members reflect on that document. And then there's an interactive locating and sort of describing the Virginia boarding schools. And both of those we are reconfiguring to also go onto the website. And so we're really excited about that. I shared the John Smith map interactive with some teachers from Caroline County last month. I got it on a flash drive before it was available on the website. And they were just amazed because, many of them teach this document in elementary school. Many of them are not history experts, and they just found this information really, really useful. I think it completely blew their minds about, different ways to think about how people might use and what value they might find in that map. And of course, we have that map in our collections. So we've got some great upcoming programs that are happening at the library. You can check that out on the website. The traveling exhibition will start in May. Barbara, I think, has already been overwhelmed with requests. And so we're excited to see how far and long that exhibition will travel. The only other thing, I'll just sort of wrap up, Dr. Cantor, if that's okay. On the go. So we launched the 2024 season on March 4th. We were at the Southwest Virginia Higher Education Center in Abington. I know that we had a board member in attendance, and that was a day that was really focused on genealogy. And so we had 72 attendees who actually came from not just the surrounding counties, but also from several contiguous states. And so it was a really well-received presentation. After that, we went to Stanton Public Library. And we are going to Smith County actually on Saturday, and then to the Eastern Shore at the end of the month on April 27th. We are completely booked for 2024, and we are already booking into 2025. So it is just, I think, been a really well-received initiative. I know staff who have gone have just tremendously enjoyed themselves, myself included. We hired somebody to kind of coordinate, so I don't get to do them all this year, but I am going to a couple. But it's been a lot of fun. And I think the marketing that Angela has been doing, I can't say it enough. Like, we just did a TV interview for the Smith County, I think. And so she's really doing a great job to, make sure at least that everyone in these communities is aware of the program. And, they vary, some of these counties have just a lot fewer residents, but the people who have come have been really, really engaged in the programs that we've been doing. So that's all I have. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
No, I just have a comment. The library staff was at the Virginia Forum in Richmond, and I don't know if that was mentioned,
Nope.
before I got on, and it was reflecting on the indigenous, perspectives and things like that. So it was well received, and of course they were excellent. So I'll just say that it was moderated by Brent and stuff. So anyway, that was all I was going to say.
Good.
Thank you, Shelley.
In addition to the indigenous topic, the State Council of Higher Education for Virginia, we call it SHEV, they held their second annual Virginia Indigenous Nations and Higher Education Leadership Summit in March at VCU. And so I want to forward that information to you, Ms. Fitzgerald.
Yes, thank you.
So for 2025, because I'm sure they're going to do it again, maybe it's a possibility for the library to be there, right?
We would love to.
There's aspects, although the focus is higher education, they do focus on K through 12 education standards. So
great.
Okay.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Last but not least, Ms. Flagg.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a quick PowerPoint that I'm going to share just to give you an overview of what we've been working on for marketing and communications. So let's see, share my screen in just a second here. Let's see here, share screen. There it is. Is that the right one? Wait a minute. Yes, I think that's the correct one. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, okay, I'm just noticing a typo on the first slide. I apologize for that. The marketing and communications team, we've been focused on continued promotion of the Indigenous Perspectives exhibition. We've been doing this through a variety of TV, print, and digital ads and social media ads. We have also been working on the Weinstein Author Series, promoting that, as well as the First Fridays at LVA Series, as well as other events. Again, we've been utilizing print, digital, and social media ads to promote these items. This is an example of what some of our ads look like. When we announced the Indigenous Perspectives exhibition, there were actually some events associated with that. So we did a full-page ad listing the whole series so people could see the dates for all the different programs associated with the exhibitions. And also we did ads specifically to promote each of the individual events. This ad was a full-page ad in the Richmond Times-Dispatch, and the two to the right are digital ads that ran in Style Weekly as well as the Richmond Times-Dispatch. And we also did social media ads as well. Here's another example. We announced our Weinstein Author Series with a full-page ad in the Times-Dispatch. And we've been placing ads again, highlighting each of the individual book talks. What's great is the first book talk that was held in March exceeded the capacity of our lecture hall and required overflow seating. So that was wonderful. And as a result of the full page ad, the Tim Kaine book talk already has been full with registration. So we didn't have to do any additional advertising for that particular event. As far as media coverage, it's been very good so far this first quarter. We have been featured in 51 news stories so far. And considering that last year we were featured in 153 news stories, and that was like for the whole year, we could possibly exceed that sometime this fall. So that's pretty great. I wanted to share some examples of some of the stories that have appeared in papers around the state. Richmond Magazine, they did a story about Dennis Clark when he arrived. That appeared in their January edition. The Daily Press, they did a story about the new Virginia Literary Award that we have in partnership with William and Mary, focused on children's literature. That ran in February. The Augusta Free Press in Waynesboro, they did an advanced story about LVA, bringing the LVA on the go to the Stanton Public Library. That was in February. And the News on the Neck newspaper, they did a story about our local courts preservation, the grants that we awarded through the Circuit Courts Preservation Program. That ran in March. There's a full list of all the different stories that are in the board packet for your information. Okay, wait. Next, I wanted to share Broadside, which most of you have probably already seen. This is the latest edition. And the story that we have for this, the cover story that we have for this edition of Broadside focuses on the state art collection and the library's role in managing that collection. So in addition to sending this out to donors, there's an electronic version on our website for all to access. So if you haven't had a chance, please feel free to take a look at it. It's a really great content inside. Regarding social media, our social media for the first quarter continues to grow. We're seeing growth in followers and some of our other measures. There are full stats on our social media. They're available in the board packet. I pulled this example because this was the post that had the highest reach and the highest engagement. This was a post about National Handwriting Day. We shared a recorded video of a workshop on reading historic handwriting. So as you can see, it reached over 113,000 people, and over 17,000 of them reacted to it or shared it in some way. And what's great is this is an organic post. This was not paid. So reaching all of those people without having to do an ad is amazing. Let's see. I'm sorry, my computer is freezing when I'm trying to advance it. There we go. Another thing I wanted to mention is LinkedIn, that we're gaining members on LinkedIn pretty steadily. And we first took over our LinkedIn page at the end of 2022. At the time, it was being used by HR, our Human Resources Department, to share open positions. So we decided to start sharing some of the great content that we share on our other social media platforms to try to engage this audience. And as you can see, we're closing in on 1,000 followers, and it's been a little over a year. So I expect that that's going to grow significantly over the next few years. And that's such a great audience to share our content, and they're interacting. What's interesting is the momentum picked up after Dennis came on board. So there are people, probably that are among his LinkedIn connections that are following us as well. Some upcoming things in marketing. The literary awards are coming up, so we'll be announcing the nominations for the awards. And certainly there'll be a lot of promotion of the gala event so we can get more people purchasing tickets. We also plan to do a campaign about Virginia Untold, the African American narrative. That campaign will launch in the June timeframe, maybe a few weeks before Juneteenth. And we also plan to do some general branding in the form of a billboard off of the downtown expressway. We're also going to have another billboard in July, in the middle of vacation season, to catch some of the commuter traffic, as well, the local commuter traffic, as well as people traveling through the state for vacations. So that will be off of 95 as you're heading towards the, where it connects with 64 East. And there'll be print and social media ads as well. So that's all I have for the marketing update. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions from Ms. Flagg? In regards to, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. One thing I was going to add, the interview that Catherine mentioned, the TV interview is with the TV station WBDJ in Roanoke. That story is supposed to run today. They interviewed Peter North, one of the outreach team members, about the upcoming visit to Smith County. So if you get a chance to visit their website, probably this evening, it should be posted.
Ms. Flagg, in regards to LinkedIn, did you say that this is the library's first encounter with using LinkedIn?
Well, they were using it, HR was using it when I came on board.
Right, okay.
Just to share like open positions.
Okay, then. Yes.
So we decided to start using it in our marketing.
Yes. And
it's been great to see the sharing, the comments, the interaction. So that audience is definitely growing.
Yes, LinkedIn, my president here, she's a LinkedIn leader, right? And so when she came 4 years ago, she informed us that, she uses LinkedIn, and she encouraged all of her executive council to use LinkedIn as well. And so, my presence, right? Not just across the world, really increased by being out there, right? So it's definitely a good platform.
Wonderful. If you're not following us on LinkedIn, please do.
Okay. There you go. Any other questions or comments for Ms. Flagg? You can close
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see, let me unshare.
That's okay.
There we go.
All right. So that ends the agenda items. Anything else needs to be brought before the committee? No birthdays, no anniversaries.
We don't talk about all of that all the time,
Right? Because I had a birthday yesterday. That's why I mentioned it. So, yeah.
I thought I'd bring up one thing real quick.
Sure.
With our new member, I think it'd be good with the 250 revolution work that is coming about with Sarah on board to maybe talk to Dennis, the librarian, about helping maybe through her and some of the academic library connections that she can develop in the state to promote the petitions project through history departments and libraries, maybe to do exhibits within all the major universities in the state. I know, for example, Sarah, that there's going to be a 250 revolution project that's actually going to be happening in Northern Virginia. It's going to be affiliated with one of the towns, I think it's Alexandria, or it might be Arlington, I have to look and see. But they're going to be doing a big project inviting diplomats from really all over the world to learn about the importance of the 250 revolutionary project. And I think it's great if we can do as much as we can to promote. I know Peter and Paul and I have chatted about that big event. I think that's about as important as the 200 library initiative celebration anniversary, just in terms of where we can get a big presence throughout the state. And so now that you're on board, I think it'd be great, Sarah, and I'd be happy to work with you on some of the universities, throughout the state, talking to the librarians and the history departments and helping promote some of those major events, because I think they're excellent outreach and education opportunities for us in the library. to see the great work that's being done. I know Shelley and I have chatted about the petitions project. I know Shelley likes the petitions project as much as I do. And I think it's great. I mean, it promotes not just the narratives of freed slaves, which is very important that we should get out educationally in terms of outreach, get their stories out, but I think we should also get the stories of war veterans out, of the petitions, and the stories of the religious freedom out. And I just think, Sarah, this is perfect timing for you coming on board. And so I would just urge you to really partner with Shelley on the great work she does, and the petitions project, and, you know, really the good work that the whole team is doing on kind of these summer institutes, and really just helping promote this 250 event. You know, I love hearing about Catherine Fitzgerald, Wyatt's excellent work that she's doing. But I just think that's a natural partnership that we can benefit. UVA, Shelley has connections at UVA. You know, I have connections at multiple universities. And I just think whatever we can do to kind of show the great work of the petitions project would really just help throughout the state showcase the work of the library. So that's just what I would, you know, urge people to look into a little bit. But thank you.
And I'm on the Albemarle County VA 250 committee.
Oh, great.
And I will say, and I'm assuming all the counties probably have a committee.
Yes.
And you know, somewhat. And one of the things I just will let y'all know that I said, please do not go through this whole 250 and not recognize the Black Revolutionary Patriots. And so got my word across. So they're even looking at possibly doing some type of exhibit, because just in that one county alone, just the ones I've encountered in my work with UVA is like 14. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, okay, we got Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe. Everything is about the Civil War. Wait a minute. We're talking 250. We're talking about Revolutionary War. So hopefully that kind of message will be going on. And I'm part of the Forgotten Patriots book at with the society and nationally and things. Some of you will remember the Civil War books that used to be tabletop. Turner, there's one being done by the Unforgotten Patriots for tabletop. So it's exciting to see that. And that's, you know, nationwide per se, not just Virginia, but, you know, Virginia's
and I think James Armistead Lafayette, who was a double agent who helped us win the war in Yorktown through overhearing what Cornwallis was saying, is an excellent example of that. I'm all about promoting as many of these great heroes, because Virginia has an amazing story. Amazing story. And I just think this is a great way to promote the library. So I hope Angela will do some of her excellent magazines, you know, dedicated to the 250 coming up. And we'll do maybe a workshop in 2026 would be great. You know, a summer teachers workshop on the 250. I just think there's so many ways we can partner with the 250 to celebrate the contribution of so many Virginians. But thank you.
So to talk about heroes, we need to also remember the sheroes as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I put that point across just as much. Jefferson sent 4 of his enslaved that provided service, and one is Mary Hemings, who became a prisoner of war. And it's like, okay, there's no monument. Wait, you know, but anyway, but it's coming together, and they actually have a meeting, I think it's today, to see where it all goes.
Good.
So appreciate it though.
Thank you. Peter?
Yeah, if I could just add to that, there was actually a meeting of the Virginia 250 Commission yesterday, and which Dennis is now sitting on that commission, replacing Kathy Jordan, who was Sandy's designee. But the commission is extremely interested in telling a story of all Virginians. But one of the issues that came out yesterday is they said, well, you know, we need people to tell these stories to us so we can publicize it. So in other words, that there certainly may be individuals locally like Shelley who are familiar with this, but Shelley, you need to get that message to the commission staff so that they can start to educate the public about that more. And there is an African American Advisory Commission, which Senator Locke heads up as part of 250. And you might want to talk to, certainly talk to commission staff, but also Senator Locke to try to make sure that the stories that you're aware of are woven into the larger narrative, which the state commission is trying very hard to tell. But from the library, from the standpoint of the library's institutional engagement, I would suggest that you just look at the VA 250 website, because va250.org, it will show that there are Revolutionary War related events going on now, literally in every jurisdiction in Virginia over the next year. They now have local committees in all 134 jurisdictions in Virginia. And if you look at the VA 250 calendar, it will show you that almost every weekend there are different events going on. Obviously, if it sounds like that the bus is already booked up for 2024, we may not be able to do anything in 2024, but the staff ought to think about, particularly if some of these look like they're going to be very large events, is there any way in which the staff can engage in some sort of an outreach? In other words, if you look at, for example, Prince William has some, but I'm not sure Prince William has a huge event coming up, or if they're simply working on a commemoration site in Prince William. But anyway, you can look at some of the larger population counties and try to figure out, okay, they've got something very large coming up. You might just see if there's a way in which the Library of Virginia staff can become involved in that, or can participate, even if it's not by sending the bus there. Maybe it's a table or something like that. So just a thought.
Thank you, Sigurd. Thank you, Paul.
Morning. I just wanted to say we're excited to tomorrow. Our office team is actually a portion. We're doing an optional lunchtime thing to come look at the exhibit and visit the library. So I think folks are really excited to see that and be in the space. And want to commend again the great work that Angela's been doing, and Catherine, with just getting the word out about the exhibit. And looking forward to seeing folks in Norfolk on Monday. And for those of you who can be in person, if not, we'll see you virtually.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think somebody's going to send us, if we're logging in virtually Monday, that we'll get in. I haven't gotten an email about where to log into, but I assume somebody will be sending that to us. Yeah. Maybe by Friday for our Zoom login. But other than that, yes. I look forward to it.
I think Tracy, Dennis's new assistant, should be sending out the full packet on Friday with a link to those who are attending virtually.
Well, she did send the packet out already, but maybe.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it. I'll go back and check my email, but I don't remember seeing a login for us that are going to be virtual, but I'll go see if I
Great. All right. Cool.
I'll have to go.
Nothing else. Look forward to seeing you all in Norfolk. Yes, Barbara.
Yes, please. I haven't gotten a packet.
Well, we'll check can somebody at the library check with Tracy?
Yeah, I don't remember getting it either, but okay.
I'll check on that. I know that we were without an executive assistant, and so someone else at the library, Michelle Washington, started a lot of the work. So I'll check with her and Tracy and make sure that everyone gets the packet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the packet and check on the link for the virtual login, because I don't remember getting it either.
Yeah, that'll be with the digital packet that they send out. Yep. Okay. I will check on that as soon as I finish.
Tracy sent out yesterday at 3:13.
No,
I'm looking at my email. I've got an email from her, and it's about the board meeting, the agenda, and all the attachments.
Well,
and I'd be happy to forward that. But I'm just saying, I got it yesterday at 3:13 p.m.
Well, thanks, Shelley. I'll make sure she's got the complete board list. Maybe she didn't.
Yeah, because I can't see
who's on it.
Whoever she sent it to, but I'll be happy to forward it also.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
it's all
great.
the attachments as well.
Good. All right, cool. Well, if nothing else, again, we look forward to seeing you all on Monday. Those that will be there face to face, as well as those will be there virtually. If you have any questions between now and then, definitely reach out to us, okay? But enjoy. I'm not sure what the weather's like in Richmond and your parts, but it's beautiful here in Lynchburg. So enjoy the rest of your day.
You
Thank
too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.